let's talk about the positive. So the positive is Lamine Yamal. Okay, Lamine Yamal, bro. Honestly, dude, how good is Lamine Yamal?
You know, it's crazy, dude, because when we started seeing Messi, he was like about what, 19? I mean, we already knew about Messi, but like pretty much like a made player.
Yeah.
With Rijkaard, he was 19. And the fact that Xavi introduced Yamal at 15, dude.
16, yeah.
Yeah, 16, 15, right?
Yeah.
Well, 15, no, because he's been there for 2 years.
I think it was like 15 and a half.
15 and a half, right? The fact that you are able to see that, and we are kind of seeing that maybe from Yamal. I'm not going to say he's going to do what Messi did because, I mean, at the end of the day, Messi and Ronaldo, they're pretty much generational players.
Of course.
The fact of the matter is, it's like it only makes you wonder how more can he improve and how much better can he get.
And that's the thing, bro. Because when we saw Messi, well, let's be honest. When we saw Messi, we saw a little glimpse of him, but the main one was Ronaldinho, right?
Oh yeah,
he was the main one. When Messi was coming up, that's the difference between Messi and Lamine Yamal right now. So Messi came up during an era where Ronaldinho was pretty much the spotlight. Right now, Lamine Yamal, there's nobody but him, right? So he has all eyes on him. And Guti said, Lamine Yamal is giving me a glimpse of Messi.
Yeah.
Of Messi. And we saw Messi pop up, I want to say during Guardiola's era. So
like you could say like he never had a bad season after that.
Yeah. He got a lot of injuries.
He had a lot of injuries, and I think he even missed the Champions League final.
He did, yeah. He missed it. Because of an injury.
Mm-hmm. And then the thing about
06 one,
and the thing about Messi too was that, like you said, he wasn't the main guy at the time. You had Deco. Deco, he was there, but then you had Ronaldinho, the main guy for Ronaldinho. Mm-hmm. So I feel like with Lamine Yamal, like you said, all eyes on him.
Yeah, right now all eyes are on him. And to be honest, I think that when Messi was coming up, if all eyes would have been on him, he would have probably had more hype.
Oh yeah,
more hype. But at that time, Ronaldinho was coming up, so everybody was looking at Ronaldinho. What is Ronaldinho gonna do and everything? Kind of overshadowed Messi a little bit.
His prime, Ronaldinho was in his prime.
Because Ronaldinho was on his prime. But Lamine Yamal, bro. I mean, damn. When he comes to the middle, bro, I'm like.
That's what me and you were talking about last time too. You remember?
Like, that's kind of messy right there.
I don't know if you heard, but they were saying that next season Yamal is going to get the number 10 jersey.
Yeah, and he should.
When we kind of knew that already, right?
Yeah.
But what we were saying too was that I think Lamine Yamal, at some point, dude, he's going to have to play as a number 10 role, which is a number 10 in the middle.
Naturally, it's going to come.
It's going to be in the middle because right now he's playing more like in a right winger,
Yeah, kind of like how Messi started, pretty much.
Yeah, and I think Rafinha is playing more like in the middle role. Mm-hmm. But Rafinha for me is like everywhere because this dude is like a freaking monster.
Because he runs a lot. Rafinha runs a lot.
But I feel like once Lamine Yamal gets that middle role, I feel like he can probably. I think he's gonna improve his game a lot more.
I think so too.
Because all the balls are gonna go to him.
Yeah.
Right now it's Pedri. It's a mixture of Pedri, Rafinha, and Lamine Yamal, which is good though because it makes Barca less predictable. You don't know what angle they're gonna attack you from.
That's true. Yeah, which is kind of good. It's good for Lamine Yamal too because we're not putting too much, or the fans, they're not putting too much pressure on him because you know what, they're like kind of to deviate from Lamine Yamal with Ansu Fati. I think that's the mistake that. And I think Barca are doing good by bringing up Lamine Yamal a little bit slower, like they're going to give him the 10, which I honestly kind of think is a little bit too soon too, to give him the 10. I think so. I think maybe the season after the one coming up, maybe he should get the 10.
He has the 19 right now, which is
remember? Because right now, how old is Lamine Yamal? He's 17, right? Okay, so he's 17, so I don't know when he's turning 18. Let me search on when he's turning 18, because I think when he turns like 18, 19, that would probably be like a better time to give him the...
Number 10?
The number 10.
Well, while you do that, like you said, dude, with Lamine Yamal, I think if Barcelona can go ahead and not do the same mistake what they did with Ansu Fati, because with Ansu Fati, dude, I feel that unfortunately, I think Barcelona were in a rush to get back there.
Yeah.
They were in a rush to get back there, and it put so much pressure on him. But then we also talk about the injuries that Ansu Fati faced. Which was, obviously, I think even himself and his father kind of like undermined what Barcelona, wanted for him, which is to get the surgery. But if Lamine Yamal and Barcelona are able to coexist and kind of like, do good and
bring them up slowly.
Without that pressure, then, I mean, at this point, bro, we can go ahead and say, what will be of Lamine Yamal in maybe 10 years?
It could be the next generational player for Barcelona, pretty much. But like Lamine Yamal, he's 17 right now, so I think that's the reason why they're going to give him the 10 next season.
18, huh?
So he's turning 18 this year in July. He's going to turn 18. So, okay, so that's good. That's good. So, if they want to give him the 10 for next season, that's good because he's going to be 18. I think he's going to sign a new contract too, right?
Yeah, I think it's
I think, because you know what, bro, like with Ansu Fati, I mean, when we saw Ansu Fati, he didn't give us a glimpse of like a Messi or not even a CR7 yet.
No.
But he did give us a glimpse of, and we talked about it, remember? We said, I think Ansu Fati, if he's brought up correctly, he could be maybe the next Eto'o. Because he kind of reminded us a little bit of Eto'o, right? Giving the glimpse of how he moved. He wasn't afraid to do things in the box. He wasn't afraid to shoot. Even he had a good heading and good passing too. 1-2.
You remember that one substitution after he came back from injury? He came to the Clásico.
Yeah, he scored with the header. Yeah, so he had man. Ansu Fati had a lot of potential, bro. And then the injury killed him, and it sucks that whatever happened with him, he didn't want to get the surgery or whatnot. But if going to Lamine Yamal, we talked about it, this too. So if Xavi would have still been the coach for Barca, right? I think Xavi, in my opinion, and that's why I didn't want Xavi to leave. We talked about this, right? Because I think Xavi would have been the perfect coach to bring up Lamine Yamal slowly.
And that's what he did.
Because he was bringing him slowly. He was bringing him up slowly. And remember I mentioned to you too that I found out that Xavi also was the one who impeded. I think it was PSG from taking him to the academy. I think if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's the reason why he debuted him.
Yeah, and then Xavi basically put the red light. He's like, you know what? No, I want him to be with us. So do whatever you can to stop that because supposedly they were going to go in and send him to the PSG's academy. You know how they did with Xavi Simmons?
Oh yeah,
like that. That's what they were going to do.
We've said this. I told you, PSG for me is the way they run that club, dude. It's insane because they've had the blueprint. Technically speaking, Real Madrid came with 200 million. Hey, we want Mbappe. They could have done so much with that money, dude. But that's a different subject. We've always talked about that. We spent like hours talking about that. But they had the blueprint, dude, to actually be like maybe a Man City in a sense where if they would have stuck to Ancelotti.
They would have, yeah.
And then they would have kind of given him the confidence, or even Tuchel, like you said, I thought Tuchel was really good. He took him to the first Champions League final.
The first one.
But even then, it's like you gotta develop from there. But no, they wanted fast success, and
of course,
that's a different subject. But
that's all a different subject. PSG to me are like, I think right now they're probably starting to kind of maybe develop a project. They probably want to go ahead and do it with Luis Enrique, and I think Luis Enrique could do that if they give him time and they let him work. But before that, man, PSG was just a disaster. Disaster, man. You know what? And how, just to kind of talk about PSG a little bit, just to kind of bash on them a little bit. So, how pathetic do you have to be, right? To be able to get Mbappe, who everybody was overhyping him to be the next R9, right? Everybody was saying, oh yeah, this guy's going to take over the world after Messi and CR7. Oh yeah, and now it's all about Mbappe, forget about Messi, right? How pathetic do you have to be of a club to be able to put Messi, right? Arguably the best player in history, and he was still good when he left Barca.
Yeah.
Neymar, in my opinion, that the most skillful player, I think, even at times better than Messi.
Yeah.
Skill-wise.
Skill-wise, yeah.
Technique and skill-wise. Neymar, and he was still good, Neymar too. And Mbappe together, bro, and be able to be and get eliminated from the Champions League the way you did against Real Madrid.
That was crazy.
Against Real Madrid, bro, which obviously
I think the funniest thing for PSG, and this is like I told you last time too, dude. What I found really funny was that I think at the time you had Thiago Silva who was 35.
Yeah.
Right? And he wanted a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
Right? This was the biggest thing, right? At that time, he wanted a 2-year contract. PSG said, no, we're going to give you a 1-year contract. Mm-hmm. Right? You can debate here. And I mean, I've thought Sergio Ramos, for me, as a generational defender, right?
Me too, yeah. I think so too.
We can debate here at that time who was better, in that precise time. But here comes PSG that says, you know what, Thiago Silva, we're not going to give you a 2-year contract. We're only going to give you one, but we're going to go ahead and sell you, and we're going to get Ramos, and we're going to give him a 2-year contract.
And then,
same age.
Yeah, and then after that, go ahead and slap us in the face by winning the Champions League with Chelsea.
Oh, it's funny.
I mean, that's what I'm telling you. You have to be really, I mean, the way if you run a club like that, I mean, how pathetic and how stupid do you feel, right?
Yeah.
After going through all that.
And you know what? To kind of go back to Barcelona, when we used to kind of talk about during Koeman, right?
Yeah.
And then going back to Xavi, that was one of the things why we both agreed that we didn't want Xavi to leave.
Yeah. No,
because a lot of people can go ahead and say like, oh no, Xavi had to go. But people don't understand, dude, like the players that Xavi had to actually deal with. You remember at that time when Xavi came into Barcelona had not been in the Champions League.
No, they weren't.
They were like what? I don't know what place in the league. I think they were like 7th, 8th.
I think Coleman when I think because Coleman didn't finish the season. I think he was let go mid-season.
Yeah.
But I think Coleman, if I'm not mistaken, I would have to search it up. But I think he had Barcelona in the top 5.
Yeah. Well,
but they were quite a few points away from Real Madrid.
But Coleman, I always tell you this, dude. Coleman still had a Messi.
He did. He had a Messi.
He still had a Messi. He still had the Suarez. Well, Suarez, he told him to like.
He did. He had
a good team, dude.
He had good players.
Yeah, he had.
But I think he inherited a mess.
Yeah, he did too.
A complete mess. But he still had good players because, like you say, he still had Messi. He still had Dembele.
Yeah.
Griezmann.
Yeah, Griezmann.
He had De Jong, right? Dembele was still there, right?
Yeah, Dembele was still there.
Okay, Dembele was still there. In the middle, he had De Jong, only Pedri. He defeated Pedri.
And he had Busquets too.
And he still had Busquets. So, the only players that I would say that he, honestly, in my opinion, he couldn't work with was the defense because he still had Lenglet, he still had Piqué, he still had Jordi Alba, and he has Semedo as right.
But when Xavi came in, dude,
he still had those players too.
When Xavi came in, there was an aging Jordi Alba, right?
Yeah.
And then there was an aging Piqué, right? This is when they got battered in the Champions League, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And then we said, right, why don't you go for the Cantera? And Xavi came in.
We always talked about that, yeah.
Like, Xavi came in, right? And look, Xavi came in and said, you know what, Jordi Alba, I played with you. You know, we had a relationship, but you know what, dude? It's time to pretty much start letting you go. So what did he do? He put in Valdemar.
Yeah.
And then he put in a 16-year-old Kubatsi, dude.
That was I think
everybody was bashing Xavi for that.
And not just that, but he was also the one who debuted Gavi.
Gavi and Casado, dude. A lot of people don't remember. A lot of people don't remember that Xavi gave Casado his
and I even forgot about that. I didn't even remember that. To be honest, I forgot
it. He talked a lot about Casado.
And I had to go back and do my research, and yeah, he did. Xavi was the one who debuted Casado.
And if we go back to like yesterday's game, right, we can kind of see the seeds that Xavi planted.
Oh yeah,
right? We can see the Kubarsi. We can see Lamine Yamal, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And we can see the Casado.
Yeah.
We can see Gavi. And when we go ahead and look at we see Fermin, bro. Yesterday, for me, Fermin. Yesterday,
hell of a game, huh?
Was the player of the match
right there?
I think player of the match.
He did get player of the match.
I think so, right?
Yeah, he got it. Yeah,
that you know, a lot of people are gonna go ahead and talk about look, we can go ahead and talk about Lamine Yamal. We can talk about Rafinha. We can go ahead and talk about even Casado, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because those are the players that have been kind of like there, you know, already consistent. They kind of, technically speaking, their starting 11, they're always gonna be there. But when you look at Fermin, right, bro? You look at Fermin, and he's been kind of struggling to get minutes. You gotta think, dude. Fermin right now is competing against Casado, Pedri. You can even say De Jong. Whether I still think I would put Fermin over De Jong. He's still competing in that spot, and Gavi.
Yeah.
And then he comes in and he shows out. You know, this dude had 2 assists and a goal. And the way he stopped that ball from Kubarsi, dude, and shot it, dude.
That's true. Yeah.
Ferran Torres would have not done that. The shark.
Oh yeah, so you know, I still want to stay to the positives. To be honest, bro, because you know every time I go on Ferran, we can honestly go with Ferran. We can start talking about Ferran and we won't stop.
Nah.
Let's go with the positives, bro. Fermin, yeah, I agree with you, bro. For me, Fermin, it was a huge positive yesterday. And like I was telling you, if Barca ever, because I don't think they're gonna play Benfica anymore, but if Barca ever play against Liverpool, I do think that Fermin will be good for Barca. In my opinion, if Flick is able to go, if Flick is able to go ahead and put Firmino in any role, even on the wing, bro, even on the wing or maybe even through the middle, because that guy along with Gavi, and like I was telling you, like I was mentioning to you earlier, Gavi and him, they run a lot because they do run a lot.
They have a lot of stamina.
But I still think that Firmino has a little bit more pace than Gavi. I think. Okay, I think that Gavi overall is a better player.
Well, we saw that against Bayern Munich. Right?
Yeah, we saw that against Bayern Munich where Firmino was just, and that's the reason why he put him against Bayern Munich and he put him against Real Madrid. But I think against Real Madrid it didn't work out very well because Real Madrid were actually trying to play in the middle. Remember the first half?
Yeah.
They were trying to play, and
we talked about that.
And Firmino is not a player like Pedri or like De Jong.
And we're talking about the 4-0 league game.
Yeah, and the one at the Bernabeu. Yeah, the one at the Bernabeu. So, you know, Firmino is not a player that's gonna go ahead and be able to give you the 1-2 touches like a Pedri and like a De Jong, or even like a Gavi too, because Gavi can do that as well. But he's able to go ahead and he's able to go ahead and adapt to a system where it can be kind of sloppy, back and forth, like it was against Benfica.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in my opinion, that's where you can kind of benefit from a player like Fermin. So if Barca were to ever play against Liverpool, I think Fermin would be a good player to start him right there. In my opinion, that's what I think.
Well, you know, when we saw the Benfica game during the week, we talked about how, technically speaking, the way Benfica played against Barcelona, dude, which was pressuring them, and pretty much counterattacking them when they didn't have the ball.
At those long balls, bro.
That is exactly the same way Liverpool plays.
Liverpool plays like that and more effective.
Yeah, 2 times more effective because they have better players, in my opinion.
Yes, way more effective.
Quicker and faster and better players.
And more effective. And, you know, Liverpool, you know, just calling to Liverpool a little bit, Liverpool also have the ability where the goalkeeper can go ahead and give him a pass.
Yeah.
Bypass the whole middle and land to Salah, land to Luis Diaz. Darwin Núñez too. Darwin Núñez is fast.
Yeah, he's really quick.
He's fast.
He's not as effective in the goal, in the finishing,
in the box. He's not
but he is fast. And the what I do like about Darwin Núñez too is that he actually does pass the ball.
He does, and he tries to look for players. And what Darwin Núñez too is, if Darwin Núñez were to go ahead and perfect his finishing, man.
Well, you said that, right? You said Darwin Núñez. He's always there.
I always said that. Actually, you know what? I always told you, what I like about Darwin Núñez, bro, is that Darwin Núñez, for some reason, he's always there. It's just that, you know, he kind of like, you know, he fumbles a lot in the box.
Yeah.
But if he were to go ahead and perfect that, man, he would be such a good player, bro. And I mean, his speed, his pace, it's there.
Another player I want to talk about, since we're sticking to the positives, is Cubarsí. A lot of people forget, dude, that Cubarsí also debuted for Barcelona at the age of 17.
Yeah, 17-year-old. He's still 17, bro.
I think he's 18 now.
He's 18?
Yeah. I think he's 18 now. But the fact is, Cubarsí, dude, when Cubarsí came in, I remember, dude, I saw his first league game. And I remember I told you, I said, dude, there was this one dude who debuted for Barcelona. He played with guts, I said, you know?
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I said, this dude, bro, the same way Cubarsí was playing now is the same way he was playing back then in his first game.
Yeah.
And it was hard to do that, dude.
It's hard, yeah.
Your first game for Barcelona, you're debuting, dude, at the age of 18?
Well, and just
17?
Yeah, and just to stop you there. And it is hard to do that. If not, look at the Manchester City defense.
I saw that, dude.
So it's hard.
And it sucks. And I wasn't laughing, you know, it sucks that, you know, you can relate to him in a human level. Like, just be like, damn, you know, it's crazy, dude, because... Dude, we don't play professional, but when we sometimes, like I told you, sometimes we play league games and stuff like that, sometimes the nerves get to you in the sense where it's like, oh, are these dudes kind of good? You know, you kind of start getting into your head.
Yeah.
And he was into his head so much, dude, because he caused the goal, and then they give him the ball back, his teammates give him the ball back to kind of like, hey, you know, kind of just
to kind of get level up his confidence.
Yeah, you know, just forget about that, and then he loses the ball, and then, you know, it kind of sucked. Yeah. But, like you, that's what we talk about Cubarsí. When we see Cubarsí, dude, that pass, I don't know if you saw yesterday when I texted you. I said, did you see that ground through ball, dude, that he gave? He was obviously in the back, and he put it in between 2 players and landed to Casado.
I saw that.
That pass, dude, is not easy to make.
It's not easy to make. It's not easy to make at all. And honestly, bro, you know, it's crazy to say, bro, but we talk about Cubarsí as if he has 1,000 games on his freaking shirt,
dude.
And he doesn't.
It's just like another Lamine Yamal, pretty much. But
it's like
a defensive level.
It's kind of crazy because, you know, even at times, okay, when Cubarsí can make a mistake here and there, you know, we're like, oh man, damn, Cubarsí. But we're over here talking like if Cubarsí's 25, 30, experienced, he's still 17.
Yeah.
So technically speaking, 17-year-olds, what do they make a lot? Mistakes.
Yeah.
And Cubarsí rarely makes mistakes.
No, you know it's crazy.
Barca, real quick, Barca, in my opinion, bro, they got themselves an equivalent to another Piqué, another Sergio Ramos for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Another Malina for AC Milan, in my opinion.
Yeah, in a sense where we can see, because I remember I told you that Cubarsí reminds me of a mixture of Piqué and Ramos, Maldini, you know, and stuff like that. I didn't really see Maldini play in the early 90s, you know?
Me either, no. I didn't see him either.
Obviously, you know, he
just highlights on YouTube, pretty much.
But from the player that I really, really saw, in a sense, his defense for a long term, pretty much a lot of his career, for me, was Ramos.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a Barcelona fan, dude. Like, you know, we
always said biased. We always said it, remember, man, I wish Barca had Ramos.
Yeah, dude, because Ramos, dude, you know, Ramos was good. Yeah, maybe he was dirty in a way, dude. But you know, sometimes you gotta be like that, dude. You know,
of course.
You're not gonna be able to be the nice guy, dude, and you know, get to where he got.
We didn't like it, bro, because he was like that against Barca.
Just like CR7, dude. We were very biased against CR7 because you know what? I still believe that it just becomes a preference, you know, who you rather have, you know, in terms of best player in the world or history. Could be, you know, Ronaldo and Messi, for example.
Of course.
For me, it's Messi, you know, because I've always told you, like, I just like the fact that, you know, Messi was able to just create damage anywhere in the pitch, dude. He can grab the ball from the middle, and he can take 3-4 players, cut the line, you know, give a pass, or he can go all the way, shoot, do whatever. I'm not saying Ronaldo
the creativity,
did that,
creativity.
Because Ronaldo did that in Manchester United as well. A lot of people.
Without being biased, you know, we saw Messi. We're biased because, like you say, you know, we saw Messi, bro, and we really focus on Messi, you know, playing because we saw Messi growing up, and he was hard. You know, he was a player to watch for us, right?
Just as much as it was for Real Madrid fans to watch Ronaldo over Messi. You know, they're going to choose Ronaldo, and that's fine. Like I said, you know, when people say, no, CR7 is better than Messi, that's your opinion. That's okay. Yeah. There's something wrong with that because at the end of the day, CR7 was one of a generational type player as well, just alongside Messi. It just becomes on who you prefer.
Yeah.
You know, but going back to that Kubarsi real quick, the way he comes off from the back, dude, is really good. Yeah. And I told you about the documentary on Netflix about the Barcelona, right?
Watched it. I need to watch it.
Xavi says it, and it's very true. I've said that playing for Barcelona is probably one of the hardest teams you can play for. Truth of the matter, Barcelona is there too.
Yeah, of course.
You know, equally, in my opinion, Barcelona can be there as well.
Yeah.
With that being said, is Xavi said in his documentary that when you go as a defender playing for Barcelona, the way they teach you in La Cantera, right? Is that the first ball, the first ball that the defender gets is supposed to go directly to the Casado, for example.
Yes.
Now, and how Piqué would do it to Busquets.
And that's essentially to break the pressure line.
Yeah, break the pressure line.